The New Zealand dollar is the currency of the realm of New Zealand, as well as a single British overseas territory, the Pitcairn Islands. It is divided into 100 cents. It is normally written with the dollar sign $, or NZ dollar, to distinguish it from other dollar-denominated currencies. In the context of currency trading, it is often informally called the Kiwi, since New Zealand is commonly associated with the indigenous bird and the $1 coin depicts a Kiwi. It is one of the 10 most traded currencies in the world, being approximately 2.0% of global foreign exchange market daily turnover in 2013. History. Introduction. Prior to the introduction of the New Zealand dollar in 1967, the New Zealand pound was the currency of New Zealand, which had been distinct from the pound sterling since 1933. The pound used the pound-cents system, in which the pound was divided into 20 shillings and 1 shilling was divided into 12 pence, which by the 1950s was considered complicated and cumbersome. Switching to decimal currency had been proposed in New Zealand since the 1930s, although only in the 1950s did any plans come to fruition. In 1957, a committee was set up by the government to investigate decimal currency. The idea fell on fertile ground, and in 1963, the government decided to decimalize New Zealand currency. The Decimal Currency Act was passed in 1964, setting the date of transition to the 10th of July 1967. Words such as Kiwi and seal were proposed to avoid confusion with the word dollar, which many people at the time associated with the United States dollar. In the end, the word dollar was chosen anyway, and an anthropomorphic dollar note cartoon character called Mr. Dollar became the symbol of transition in a huge publicity campaign. On Monday, the 10th of July 1967, the New Zealand dollar was introduced to replace the pound at a rate of $2 to £1. Some 27 million new banknotes were printed and 165 million new coins were minted for the changeover. Exchange rate. The New Zealand dollar was initially pegged to the US dollar at $1.43 equals $1. This rate changed on the 21st of November of the same year to $1.12 equals $1, after the devaluation of the British pound. Although New Zealand devalued more than the UK, in 1971 the US devalued its dollar relative to gold, leading New Zealand on the 23rd of December to peg its dollar at $1.216 with a 4.5% fluctuation range, keeping the same gold value. For the 9th of July 1973 to the 4th of March 1985, the dollar's value was determined from a trade-weighted basket of currencies. The NZ dollar was floated on the 4th of March 1985 at the initial rate of $0.4444. Since then, the dollar's value has been determined by the financial markets, and has been in the range of about 39 cents to 0.88. The dollar's post-float minimum average daily value was $0.3922 on the 22nd of November 2000, and it set a post-float maximum on the 22nd of July 2011 of $0.8666. Much of this medium-term variation in the exchange rate has been attributed to differences in interest rates. The New Zealand dollar's value is often strongly affected by currency trading, and is among the 10 most traded currencies. On the 11th of June 2007, the Reserve Bank sold an unknown worth of New Zealand dollars for $9 billion USD in an attempt to drive down its value. This is the the first intervention in the markets by the bank since the float in 1985. Two suspected interventions followed, but they were not as successful as the first. The first appeared to be initially effective, with the dollar dropping to approximately $0.7490 from near $0.7620. However, within little more than a month it had risen to new post-float highs, reaching $0.8103 on the 23rd of July 2007, after reaching its post-float record high in early 2008. The value of the NZ dollar plummeted throughout much of the second half of 2008 and the first quarter of 2009 as a response to the global economic downturn and flight by investors away from riskier currencies such as the NZ dollar. The NZ dollar bottomed out at approximately 50 cents on the 6th of March 2009. However, it rebounded strongly as the year progressed, reaching the 75 cents range by November 2009. By late 2012, the dollar was holding above 80 US cents, occasionally reaching 85 cents, prompting calls from the Green Party for quantitative easing. Unions also called on the government and the Reserve Bank to take action, but as of February 2013, both had declined. As of the 1st of January 2016, the dollar was just above 68 US cents. Coins. History on the introduction of the dollar. Coins came in denominations of 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent, and 50 cent. The 1 cent and 2 cent coins were bronze, the others copper-nickel. To ease transition, the 5 cent, 10 cent and 20 cent were the same size as the sixpence, shilling and florin that they respectively replaced. Until 1970, the 10 cent coin bore the additional legend 1 shilling. The obverse designs of all the coins featured Arnold Mackin's portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, with the legend Elizabeth II, New Zealand. The reverse sides of coins introduced in 1967 did not follow the designs that were originally intended for them. Those modern art and sculpture-themed designs were leaked to a newspaper and met a very negative public reaction. The final releases were given more conservative designs in line with public expectations. In 1986, New Zealand adopted Raphael McLough's new portrait of the Queen. The 1 cent and 2 cent coins were last minted for circulation in 1987, with collector coins being made for 1988. The coins were demonetized on the 30th of April 1990. The lack of 1 cent and 2 cent coins meant that cash transactions were normally rounded to the nearest 5 cent, a process known as Swedish rounding. On the 11th of February 1991, aluminium bronze $1 and $2 coins were introduced to replace existing $1 and $2 notes. In 1999, Ian Rank Broadley's portrait of the Queen was introduced and the legend rearranged to read New Zealand Elizabeth II. On the 11th of November 2004, the Reserve Bank announced that it proposed to take the 5 cent coin out of circulation and to make the 50 cent, 20 cent and 10 cent coins smaller and use platted steel to make them lighter. After a 3-month public submission period that ended on the 4th of February 2005, the Reserve Bank announced on the 31st of March that it would go ahead with the proposed changes. The changeover period started on the 31st of July 2006, with the old coins usable until the 31st of October 2006. The old 50 cent, 20 cent, 10 cent and 5 cent pieces are now no longer legal tender, but are still redeemable at the Reserve Bank. Prior to the changeover, these coins were similar, save for the legend and reverse artwork, to international coins of the same British-derived sizes, which led to coins from other currencies, particularly older coins, being accepted by vending machines and many retailers. Current circulating coins. History of NZ dollar foreign exchange rates in foreign countries. With the breakdown of the Bretton Woods system in 1971, both Australia and New Zealand converted the mostly fixed foreign exchange regimes to a moving peg against the US dollar. In September 1974, Australia moved to a peg against a basket of currencies called the Trade-Weighted Index in an effort to reduce fluctuations associated with its peg to the US dollar. The peg to the TWI was changed to a moving peg in November 1976, causing the actual value of the peg to be periodically adjusted. Since the late 1990s, and certainly since the end of the Cold War, the US dollar has had less and less overall influence over the value of both the NZ dollar and a dollar against other currencies. Global foreign exchange market. The New Zealand dollar contributes greatly to the total global exchange market, far in excess of New Zealand's relative share of population or global GDP. According to the Bank for International Settlements, the New Zealand dollar's share of global foreign exchange market daily turnover in 2016 was 2.1%, giving it a rank of 11. Trading in the currency has climbed steadily since the same survey in 1998, when the NZD's ranking was 17th and the share of turnover was just 0.2%.